19 November 2022. This Warrafak moment, I'm going to focus on Europe. The Europeans are in deep trouble. I am absolutely stunned that the Europeans, citizens, allowed that cabal in Brussels to throw their lives under the bus. And the citizens that are suffering, just remember one thing, that elite sitting in Brussels, inflation doesn't bother them, high energy cost doesn't bother them, high food prices doesn't bother them, because you are paying for all of that in any case. So they don't suffer any consequences of their decisions. And that is the reality that you have to take care of and note and think about. Let's start with Ursula von der Leyen. As Alex has baptized her Ursula von der Crazy, and recently I've heard him mention her as the Pirate of Brussels. This woman single-handedly destroyed Europe, and the citizens cheered her on. And that is the sad part of it. The fact of the matter is, this was the person that told you the energy is not going to be a problem, there's enough gas to go around. This is the person that told you the Russian sanctions are going to get the Russian economy in tatters. This is the person that said the Russians are stripping fridges and air conditioners for chips to make their aeroplanes fly and their missiles fly. This person, this Einstein, this is the same person that told you the sanction packages is there because you are fighting for the freedom of Ukraine. This person has brought many things into your lives that nobody with common sense can ever justify. But she's got the power. And then here comes the kicker. This person is the president of the EC. But that means nothing, because this person is the crown princess of the WEF. Klaus Schwab is her king, and the newcons sitting in the shithouse in Washington, they are pulling her strings. So she's an American puppet with WEF strings. Remember that. She was the one that declared the financial war, the economic war on Russia. She. And she got her wish. And now you are suffering. Do you realize that she is instrumental in getting the German industry destroyed, and she is enabling the Americans to steal those industries? Because that is what is happening. Look at America. They're sitting on a different continent. They don't have the same problems that you have in Europe. But you have the problems in Europe on their instructions. Don't forget that. Europe has no sovereignty. Zero. Nothing can be decided in Europe. Everything must be approved by Washington. Think about that. The once proud European nations, you are a nation of slaves. And this woman, she machined most of your problems. Listen to this. Can Europe dominate the whole world? Ursula von der Leyen believes that she can decide who should own valuable resources. Take lithium or rare earth metals. They are vital to the green and digital transition. The bad news is that one country dominates the global market. It is China. Now, my question is this. What happened to the common sense position that if your country has natural resources that other countries need, your country will benefit from selling that resources to the other countries? But no, these colonial-minded cretins. They say they have the right to your resources and they will take it and you must just shut up or they will bomb you into oblivion. Or they will bomb you, invade you and then steal your resources. That is how they work. That is how they work. That is what the Russians are fighting against, this new colonialism. Of course, Ursula would like to dominate all markets alone, but the world where the interests of only several countries and the individual groups of people were considered inexorably becomes a thing of the past. And that is the truth. We can see that. I personally believe the G20 is finished. The future is BRICS. The war in Ukraine is not only a European war, it is a war for the future of the whole world. She's right about that. Only for the future of the new world, where the interests of all countries will be considered and defended, where equality and justice will be the lead. And that is it. Listen to those words. She's trying to make you believe that you are doing a good thing by supporting the war in Ukraine. Now, the Europeans has got a number of problems, of which inflation and energy and that is obvious. But somewhere there in the darkness, far away, as Borrell said, there in the jungle, because Europe is most the garden according to him, and the rest of the world's the jungle. Somewhere there in the jungle, on the edges of the garden, sits a hell of a lot of immigrants that Turkey is containing for a monthly fee. The EU pays him a monthly fee and he keeps those immigrants in Turkey. And then in the Ukraine, the Russians are busy destroying the Ukrainian electricity, gas and water infrastructure. Within weeks, people are going to have nothing of those things. Those people are going to be cold, going to be hungry, and no hope, because to fix and repair that Ukrainian infrastructure is going to take a lot of money and a lot of time, and they don't have spares, because that infrastructure is built on the old Soviet systems, and the only country that still makes those things and maintain those things is Russia. Maybe Ukraine will get a few spare parts in some of the old East Bloc countries, but that's it. And if they fix the damn thing tonight, tomorrow the Russians blow it up again. So those Ukrainians are going to pack up and go because they don't have a future. And where are they going? Yeah, some of them are going to go northeast into Russia. We know it. MSN denies it, but we know it. And then the bulk is going to head west. And they're going to hit Poland and then from there disperse into the EU. Numbers that people are talking about, up to 3 to 4 million. Where is Europe going to cope with that numbers? Europe's not going to be able to cope with it. As it is, they can't cope with the immigrants. Now you must add in there, European industries are being destroyed at a scary rate. So it is millions of job losses. But most importantly, it's billions of euros in tax that is now lost to the EU. So with what are the EU going to finance their social programs? How the fuck are the EU going to look after these immigrants? And then, here comes the kicker. What if Erdogan turns around tomorrow and he says, listen, I'm not happy with that 1 billion euros you're paying me per month to keep the immigrants here. I want 2 billion now. Or I unleash them. Think about that. Europe is going to be engulfed with immigrants, and you guys won't be able to cope with it. You won't be able to house them, you won't be able to feed them. You're going to have a hell of a time housing and feeding your own people. So, EU, what the fuck are you doing? You better wake up, because that cabal sitting there in Brussels has zero interest in your future, in your welfare. They only do what Washington tells them and what Schwab allows them. And the rest, you are expendable. you are going to become useless eaters. You must come to South Africa and have a look what happens when civilization collapses. What happens to the civilized people? The whites in South Africa is fighting for survival. The difference between white South Africans and the Europeans is we are used to defending ourselves. We are not weaklings. We are not gender confused. We are not sitting and cowering in corners. We are instinctive warriors and fighters. What are you soft, gender confused Europeans going to do? You are no match for the barbarians. And you will do that under dark and icy cold conditions. I feel sorry for you, or correctly, I have empathy for you, but I don't feel sorry for you. You brought this onto yourself. And on this Saturday, please hit the like, hit the subscribe, and if you don't care, leave a comment. My prediction for your future is cold, dark, poor, a third world, poverty, homelessness. You are going to see suffering like you cannot imagine. Have a nice day.